Today, we're talking about this current AI revolution, what the future is going to bring to us as INFJs, but more importantly than that, how we as INFJs can use this time to our advantage. I believe wholeheartedly this is the best time ever for INFJs. It works so perfectly with our preferences, with the things that we're good at, and it's on us to approach this with such confidence and such get-go attitude that, we really live out our lives to the best of our ability and love our lives on our terms. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you haven't done this so far, to download the free poster on the INFJ Epic Life formula. And if you say, now is my time, I'm going to use everything I can to my advantage and I'm going to start living out my INFJ Epic Life today, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. So I don't know how many of you are aware of that, but because I'm a content creator and there's so many new tools that come, into this space on a daily basis. I don't know how many thousands of programs, apps, websites, whatever it is, like pop up, on a monthly basis. But the revolution is here. Like, there is no denying it. AI becomes more and more the thing in our day-to-day life. And if you're not working with it yet, then it's because it hasn't really gotten to a place where it's a necessity in your day-to-day life. But at some point it will happen. There's no way around it. And for a lot of people, this is a scary thought. There is this thing of, first off, it's the unknown. Second of all, we're not going to allow people to really use what they're good at, and we're going to take things away from people, storytelling, whatever it may be, and AIs are going to take over. So there are a lot of aspects to this, and I'm not going to start a philosophical question of, is this good? Is this bad? What should we allow or not? Things are happening one way or another, and I'm not here to predict the future. I don't know how this will turn out. I don't know if this is going to have a lot of negative aspects to it or positive, but what I know for sure is INFJs can use this tremendously, and INFJs in general will have an easier time with that transformation, with that transition than other types. So let me explain this to you. First off, INFJs are really good at building something that hasn't existed yet. So we are the perfect person, to look into a black box. If we have two sets of information, we create a pattern here. We're really good at pattern recognition. We're really good at visualizing, and we don't need that much stability. We're really great at stepping into something new. That's why we're actually so good at, getting to know somebody new. We're able to absorb their emotional state. We actually transform ourselves into their life if we wanted to. We understand where they're coming from, what their fears are, what their preferences are, all of that. This is a skill. With time, hopefully most of you have learned that we should really look at it as a skill and nothing more. This is not how our life is supposed to be. We're not supposed to lose ourselves completely and then just tap into that person's life and then tap into that person's life. But that it's super important to start building ourselves and to have a basis that is non-negotiable no matter who you meet in your life, no matter what comes in, that there are certain aspects of how you see yourself, how you see the world, how you see your connections, your dynamics that allow you to be the version of you that makes you the most happy, right? So that is, just where we're starting off. But then think about everything that AI will allow you to do. You have an idea, AI will help you to make it reality. So one of the things, for example, that INFJs are really good at is to have an idea about, let's say, a story. You have that idea. This is your power. You're probably not as powerful in the execution as you are in the idea. Hence, that's our personality. NI first, SE last. Idea, execution. So in many cases, I talk about how important it is for INFJs to actually start taking action, because if you are not relying on yourself, but on other people to take that action for you, you have to make compromises. You have to make compromises in a way of, okay, but that's their life. And if I'm the one who gives idea and they're the ones who execute it, it will not really allow us to bring our idea to the real world, because there's always this mishmash of, what that person is going through, how they see the world, and so on. So there has to be this thing of I'm making this happen for myself, and then I start creating connections and so on. No matter what you do, and you can look at it from a grand scheme of that's how I want to live my life, to I have this idea about, an invention. AI will help you to make it real at some point. And in a lot of ways, it helps you to make it real now. There are so many ways that you can use your state of mind, your ideas, your approach to things, and then find a way to make it, happen. There are ways to create an online course. There are ways to create an image. There are ways to create text based on your ideas. So everything that you feed in AI is coming from you. So I'm not saying it's going to stay this way. I'm also not going to open questions up as, AI is going to overtake the world. Those are, as I said, philosophical questions. Those are not the things that are really our concern right now. Because what are we focusing on? We're focusing on those things we can control. Everything else is just, free time, it's enjoyment, but we want to focus on how we can create the life that we want, make it happen on our terms, turn the world into what we seem is going to be the best outcome of that, and really start with us. So on the one hand, we actually can use this revolution, this transformational time, and the future where we're leading into to make our ideas come to life quicker, more effectively, and it will probably lead to results much quicker that mirror what our vision of that idea is than if we would do those things manually. So we as an INFJ really have an advantage when it comes to this. How other types probably had a much bigger advantage when it came to another time in history, right? We're talking about pioneers. We're talking about, being able to survive in the wilderness. We're talking about, times where you have to be really forceful, where you have to have drive, where you have to do things on a daily basis. Well, guess what? SE types were probably better in that time. There are times where it was really, really important to be detail oriented, where you had to be able to really make things happen, let's say with your hands. There's so many different skills. And the time that we live in a lot of ways, is an advantage to us when other times it wasn't. And that's just, our luck at this time. Other INFJs, in the past weren't that lucky. So let's really look at this with all the advantages it brings to us. And the other important aspect that a lot of people don't think about is the fear factor. So many people are at least subconsciously afraid of what's coming because they're not good with something new. They're not good with things that are changing. I have people who are close to my heart who have a really hard time with change. We as INFJs are not like this. So we're the ones who have to take advantage of that. Specifically, if you have people in your life who aren't like this and who you want to help as well, it's on you to understand I'm going to be the one who isn't afraid of that change. I'm the one who isn't afraid of the new and unknown because I have learned that I can get a solution, I can figure things out if I'm put in a certain scenario. I've done this in the past. I've been able to find my way, to find my structure. If I was in this city, if I was with that person, if I was at that job, I can do this. And so things are going to change so quickly that everybody will have to get used to the fact that it's always something new that you have to learn. It's not like, we didn't have computers, now we have computers. No, it's actually, we have a new system, we have new, ways of talking to each other, we have a new technology, and AI is at the forefront of this. And so the fact that we're not afraid of this new thing, that we're actually excited about that, use this to your advantage. Think about how you can imagine your life and then take action because of that. Things are going to change more rapidly. It's going to be an exponential growth curve. Things are changing more and more rapidly. And having quick changes, being put in a new scenario is one of those things that are beneficial to us. We're not so good at the same thing over and over again. We actually shine when there's something new, when there's a crisis, when there's something that has to be refigured. So all of those things actually point to a time that's going to be really in our favor. That doesn't mean that we won't have difficulties. That doesn't mean that some of us will struggle and others will succeed. Like, all of that is possible. Like, we're not just one person. But in general, the time that we live in now, the technology, AI, and all that it brings with it seems like the perfect opportunity for us to shine. We can use our ideas. We can do things on our own time when we have the social distance that we as INFJs need. We can make things real the way we imagine them. So all the things that we very often have a difficulty in doing, like the detail-oriented things, all of the things that we might struggle with, as in bringing a project to the end, like executing it, AI can help us with. You have an idea for a text, you give it the idea, AI will write an article. Will it be as great as, somebody who's a really good writer? Maybe not, but it will definitely be better than if you wrote that text. If you're not like that great of a writer, I know that this definitely helps me. I don't like writing long texts. I have ideas. AI can help me make it happen. You have an idea for, a picture because you want to express something, write it down in AI, it will help you to get there. So I've been following this for the last couple of years, and there are such incredible improvements that have just happened in the last year alone. It's unbelievable. So I 100% believe that this is something that can be not only to our benefit, but it can really help us shine. The only thing we really have to master is to find our voice, to find what we want, to work on making those things a priority in our life. We have to get to a place where we care. And this is something that, my entire online presence, my entire courses, everything is based on understanding what you want, taking action, making it happen in the real world so you can grow into the direction that will make you become the person you always wanted to be. You have all the tools that you need. You're living in the time that gives you an opportunity like never before as an INFJ. And on top of that, we have communities like this one, which shows you that there are ways, that there are examples of people, that there are people who are succeeding in a way that we see fit. You decide what makes you happy. You decide what a successful life is, and you decide how that will look like. So many INFJs, go through life and they have such grand visions. And our difficulty is making it real. Use the help of AI to make it more real, to make it more concrete, to get it closer to where you want it to be. And I promise you, you will make changes, you will make progress like you've never made before. And I'm not somebody who's aware of everything that's out there. Of course I'm not. I have like my one tool, and that's it. That's the one that I use for certain things. And, as I said, there's just so much happening. You have an idea how to design your living room, but you don't know exactly how to execute it. You actually put the mood in that you want. You look at pictures that inspire you. You allow to feed an AI with your emotional states, with the things that bring you joy, with the things that inspire you without having to, put it out there, say it like exactly in a sentence. There's so many ways that we as INFJs can benefit from AI. And again, maybe things haven't developed fully. Of course they haven't. And things are developing more and more and, more rapidly. And those things that we're looking for might not be here yet, but they're coming. So now is the time for us to get excited about the future. Now is the time to get prepared. Now is the time to say, I'm starting to live my best life now. It's my time and I'm going to start growing right now. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic. I can't wait to wake up the next day and create the INFJ Epic Life on my terms. Remember, if you want some more guidelines how to get that process started today with or without AI, check out my free poster on the INFJ Epic Life formula. And if you want to take it to the next level, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide today. Everything you need to know you can find in the link in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video on how the INFJ bypasses everyone.